can't think. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. How the fuck are you going? I hope you guys are going awesome. I'm just so glad it's Friday. Yes. But yeah, I was a bit in my head. I didn't know whether to do this live because it's a bit of a Debbie Downer kind of topic, isn't it? It's that random YouTuber decided to interview someone who's even lower in the fucking barrel than she is. Like, what is she doing? Is she really that desperate? But you know what? Like, Katie, thank you though for doing this, because I haven't actually looked on your channel in a while, Katie, for, wow, you're not even hitting 100,000 views anymore. It's all just 60, 40. Wow, that's a bit of an eye-opener, isn't it? For me. For you also, Katie. Anyway, guys, welcome. Also, thank you for all the new subs. That is something that, well, we should all be doing Cactus High 10. Get your cactus paws up. It's kind of like cactus paws, isn't it? But anyway, we got to stay on topic. Caleb Williams. Oh, hang on though. Before we get into it, guess what? I was having a little type around. Well, wasn't. I thought I might just go and see if, like, Without a Crystal Ball is up and running, and it is, and it's half canistyrus. I feel like I'm in the Father video clip, like Father. The background is a bit misty. Let me get rid of my cookie. God, it's been a while since I've gone live. I feel like I've been gone for years, but because so much has happened in a week, when that shit happens. Yeah. Like, did you guys know that it was up? Also, I went and had a look at the little sorceroo. You know how you do the little, let's have a look at how you've set your little, where is it? Oh, is it because I clicked on the wrong bit? Like the page source thing? And I was like, who made it? And I think she might have made it herself. I found out about Google API, and then I went and had a look, and apparently it's just like Google helps you build your own website, and you just copy and paste the code. And yeah, so here we are. It's beautiful. It's basically her Instagram. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Anyone else feeling a bit of Hanover, open fields, living in the country, mist? Is that not from his video? Is she getting towed to make it? Also, just because I'm so fucking critical, like, it should be called Critical Bill. Critical Cactus. Same deal, really. Either way, you're going to get pricked. News, capital N. Great. We're off to a great start. Videos, capital V, and then blogs, little b. What the fuck are you trying to do here? Ruin it? Yes. Uncovering the truth daily. Ooh. Do you reckon that she needed the daily bit there? Although, is that not from somewhere else? Anyway. Check back daily for more. I don't know, some people don't know that there's more to the internet than Facebook, when you get into that little bubble, or not Facebook, but anywhere else. Anyway, I'm just dribbling on, and I thought I'd show this. Is there any links? Oh, she's got, oh, that's your menu. I would have liked the menu to be on the left. Oh, you got nothing to show me? Is it because we're not meant to be here yet? Why can't you just have a day where you like the opening of your website rather than just having it half-assed up? Got a tip? Oh my God. Yes. Oh, so many. So many tips. By checking this box and submitting your information, you are granting us permission to email you. Holy shit, really? You may unsubscribe at any time. Oh my God. How scary is that? You can give them permission to email you at any time. Okay, that's not what this is about. I'm just warming up I'm stalling. Story of my life. Okay, yeah, so we're just going to head over to Katie's Without a Chris. Well, we're not going to watch it actually on her channel because I actually found someone on Duggar Snark. I've linked it below. They uploaded it, so we're going to watch it on their channel so that we don't give that random YouTuber some views because she's really struggling in the view department, and I love adding to that or taking from that. And then, is it all working? How's the viewage? Oh, don't start. It always
Don't
starts.
But if you're going to do something like this, own up to it. Don't blame everybody.
What's going on? Oh, you chose to wear that? That's what you chose to wear? Are you a black belt? It's very karate. Okay, so you've chosen. Whoa, that's not. I wasn't expecting him to have two different tones of hair, but not that that's anything. Okay, fuck. We're just gonna get into it, I think. I want to be closer. I want to be closer than this. Okay, everyone breathe. Oh, this, by the way, is. Do we need to even say? Oh, I was gonna tell you who Caleb was. Fuck. Timestamps will be added after the stream, so that's always a good thing. My gosh, I'm so sorry. Why am I just? I gotta breathe. Okay, breathe. We'll be back to see you two in a minute. It looks like it's going to be a fucking interesting interview straight off the bat. She's not even fucking smiling. We'll just do a little bit. Who is Caleb, right? Whoa, what's that breaking news? Okay. So he's a family friend. He's in the news again because he's been mentioned in Josh's motion for a new trial or to have his conviction overturned. Yeah, so they were trying to like create reasonable doubt by saying that Caleb also has the passwords and he uses the computer also. It's like just weird that they would, I find, use someone who's also connected to the Duggar family who also has like SA charges. Choose anyone to be your scapegoat, but someone who also shares, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so he first came to light when there was the speculation that he was dating Jana in 2017, which, like, fuck, how much speculation is on that poor girl? I feel so sorry for her. Yes, we want to continue reading. So what were his charges? Caleb was arrested for SA in 2018. He's accused of abusing a minor. His victim was 16 and he was 23. Oh, there was another article or something that I read that said the age of consent in like Arkansas is 17, or with the age gap is like has to be greater than 5 years. And that's what happened. Like she ended up being pregnant at 16 and her mum like he wouldn't leave them alone or her alone. So the mum like got a protective order, and then he started fighting her for custody. Isn't that like so far for control? Fighting for control so that that girl could never have any choice of her own. Did I just basically say everything we need to know? I reckon I've done a pretty good job there. So let's just get back to the dinner date from hell. I can't believe she's rocked up
Don't
in the...
lie. But if you're going...
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting. I'm a little thrown off by his hair. Fuck, what's going on? This is awesome. How do we go? Did I just... Shut up, Bill. Okay, we're going. We're going now.
Going to do something like this, own up to it. Don't blame everybody and his brother, because yeah, you're going to have some serious press when you've been on TV for... Don't lie. But if you're going to do something like this, own up to it. Don't blame everybody and his brother, because yeah, you're going to have some serious press when you've been on TV for however many years and you do that. I don't know what their personal walk is. I think going through this and having been in close proximity and close friends for a long time, I don't think I'll have much of a relationship with them from here on out.
Yeah.
But it's not because I wouldn't be willing to reconcile, because I know people evolve and I hope that they do.
Williams. Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, May 24th, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to get right into a exclusive interview with Caleb Williams, who is the friend of Josh Duggar that's been in the middle of quite the court filings. We're going to hear his side of the story and learn more about everything that happened between Josh, Caleb, Jim Bob, and the entire team on Josh's case. It's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up, hang tight, and enjoy the interview.
Did she do this live? I probably should check below. Oh no, we're not watching her video. Just fucking get his face off there. Why do we have to look at his face? But yeah, I love it how she tells what the interview's about, but apparently it doesn't go well when it's not a wild ride. It's probably a bumpy one, but not a wild ride.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel, Caleb Williams. How are you?
Well, wonderful. Thank you for having me tonight, Katie.
I am sure this is not the way that you would like to come on to do an interview, but I appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
Recently, you were on Twitter. Your name has come up quite a bit in the case with Josh Duggar, and sentencing is on Wednesday. So obviously, there's been a lot that's come out. Your name has come out a lot in the last several months with filings, and you were actually supposed to be a witness, and you didn't testify at trial. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So it appears as though Josh is trying to blame you, and this has actually upset the prosecutors in this case. So can you tell me how you found out about like his plans to bring you into this?
Up until October, I was just like everybody else. I got a phone call from somebody saying, hey, somebody's at your house and they are wanting to talk to you about Josh Duggar. It's a private investigator. And it was shocking for me. But in my naivete, my lack of understanding, I was still thinking, Josh, there was a part of me that believed he did it just because of the evidence I saw. And then there's another part of me as somebody that wants to give a person that I view as my friend the benefit of the doubt. I had an uneasy feeling. I called some friends and I was like, this just doesn't add up.
You found out in October?
Yes. The PI showed up at my house.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me like, it didn't make any sense. He said, one, it was a Sunday afternoon, but two, he said he wanted like character reference of some type.
Okay.
Tell me about Josh Duggar. Like, what do you know him to be? All these things. And I was looking at him and thinking, and I think I laughed at him a little bit. It's like, you do realize, he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, something doesn't add up, because
you are on an SO registry. So obviously knowing the nature of his situation where he will also be placed on the same registry, do you feel like they came to you because of that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's little doubt in my mind. That was when the U.S. attorneys asked me why I thought, like, are there issues between you and the Duggars? Why would they be after you?
Mm-hmm.
I just said, I'm pretty sure it's kind of obvious. It's because of my registration status. Yeah, my past. As I've said before, I do not intend to. I've told my story.
Yeah.
I don't need to go into it. I don't plan on going into it here. But what I do think is important, and what I do want to touch on here, is when you do something wrong, especially something that you have to acknowledge it, you have to own it, and you have to acknowledge the harm position I was in, albeit different. It still is similar. Always be very clear in that, and that no matter who I talk to, I want them to know, yeah, I was wrong. And
what the fuck is going on? Like, is it like her editing? This is the worst. Even the questions that she's asking. What the fuck? She's trying to control what he says to. It's just so weird. She only wants him to speak on what she wants. She's not willing to just let him talk like this, where she can't control what's coming out. But I mean, that's what questions are for. If you have a good question, don't fucking ask a question that you just get a yes and no for. Oh, okay. I'm going back in. We're going back in, and it's fucking. Why is it not clear enough? I'm just focusing on Katie. The mouth movements. Why can't, like, resting bitch face central? It's not the most inviting face, is it?
Whether I'm moving on from what I'm doing my best to move past that, I'm going to acknowledge that and try my best to do the right thing every day, like do the next right thing to be the best person I can be. Go ahead.
So when he comes to your house, he's asking you these questions. Did you figure it out at that point that this is why they're here? They're going to put this on me, or did it not hit you then?
I thought at first that they were just really bad lawyers and that their defense was horrible if they were going to try to put me on the stand, but it still didn't add up. I am, most of the time, I try to be a trusting person. It bites me a lot. It does. And I know it. But I don't want to be a glass half full person. And that is a balance that I'm learning. I'm still pretty young, and part of life is you just have to learn it. I think what happened with that private investigator was a challenge in that I was trying to, he was given that grandfatherly feeling. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And Josh had called the person that called me and like on the phone, called my somebody that is close to me that then relayed to me that Josh called. He did not call me personally, but I knew it happened, and it didn't make sense anyway either, because I didn't think he was even supposed to be using devices.
So he called you, or he called a friend of yours or someone close to you, and that's how you found out why they were there?
No, what I'm saying is he called, yes, and I wasn't there yet, so I didn't hear that conversation. I only heard about it. It just surprised me.
Okay. When was the last time you had talked to Josh or to the Duggars prior to this happening, prior to them showing up at your home?
My last conversation with Josh was probably a few weeks before he was indicted. And there was nothing about that, but I knew he was under investigation. I didn't know he was going to be indicted, but he did say some strange stuff. I just didn't connect the dots until later in my mind. But anyway, it's of no consequence, really.
So you knew about the investigation for a year, you said before?
I think from pretty close to when he was raided.
Okay.
I knew, yes.
And how were you like brought into that? How did you find out about that?
Somebody else that I knew had been interviewed by Homeland Security and who knows who else. And they relayed that to me. And I personally, at that point in time, thought that it was somebody else, one of Josh's employees that had done it. I didn't want to believe. I gave him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't do it. Wanted to think that he wouldn't do that. It was very difficult for me once I started coming to a point. I just over time seeing evidence, and then the final nail in the coffin for me was him trying to blame me because I wasn't there. And
well,
also
he tried to blame your brother too.
Yes, yeah, and
And that fell apart because your brother was not available.
There is nothing worse than being interviewed by someone and they start talking as if they know you. They know more information than you. What the fuck, Katie? This is awful. She's not very engaged with him. There's a coldness here. Well, what we're expecting, but gosh, if you don't have the face for YouTube, maybe don't have your face all up there. And if you're going to fucking edit it like you do, just jumping around everywhere, Katie, you probably don't want to be doing praying hands through the whole thing. The way that you are just with your hands, the tension. Jeez, ease up.
All the time.
Yeah. And not capable of being there.
I mean, he was in county at that point. So, and the attorney that represented your brother was Josh's attorney. Like, there was a lot of attorney gaps. Like,
yes.
Travis Story is very good at that, in my opinion. So once your brother couldn't be blamed, then he moved on to you. But the story of him being framed had been in process for quite a long time, and he settled on you at the end. Defense has said you worked at the car lot. Can you speak to that? Did you work at Josh's car lot?
I was never an employee of Josh. I received cash or checks from Josh. It would have been like a independent contractor, but I was never his employee.
Okay.
And that was one of the things that irritated me. I understand it's still me working for Josh. Hours. You
would have been like a 1099 if he would have given you the documents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, subcontractor.
Okay.
If he gave me the documents, I don't remember
the
that.
Documents. You mentioned that he didn't give you the documents.
Not that I ever recall. I don't remember ever receiving anything from him. I did from his brothers, but not from him.
Okay.
Yeah, subcontractor.
Okay.
If he gave me the documents, I don't remember that.
The documents. You mentioned that he didn't give you the documents.
Not that I ever recall. I don't remember ever receiving anything from him. I did from his brothers, but not from him.
Okay. So how would you classify? A lot of questions come up about the car lot itself and just how run down it looked like, and how just like it didn't really look like he was doing a lot of business. Can you?
I mean, he seemed to move his inventory to a certain extent. I can't speak to the ins and outs of his business. Really, what I would do.
Sorry, guys. I'm just like, is Josh's office in that little she shed? Is it like because I've listened to the police interview, and in my head, when he said trailer, I was thinking like one of those construction box, like construction workers have their little office inside those. I wasn't thinking Janelle's little house. What the fuck? He's in a she shed, and look where the safe is. It's like right there next to the, I guess, if you don't want to get up ever.
Who is, I go detail cars, and this wasn't around the time of his crime. This was before, even before the things that happened in my life. I would just go and hang out. We'd go to the car auction and, buy cars and then bring them back and check them out, make sure they were good, and then sell them. And
now, these cars that were at his lot, are they lemons? Were they like totaled cars that they were like fixed and they were reselling, or are these just used cars?
I think he would do his best to make sure that I will say this for him. I think he would do his best to make sure the cars were good, because I saw him.
I'm so sorry, but she just cut out like a whole answer. It just went to something else. She asked him about other cars. Isn't it a used car lot? I'm pretty sure they're secondhand cars. Now she's blurring out Enna's face. Why can't we blur out his face? I don't want to look at his face anymore. It's making me fucking sick. I would rather look at Caleb's hair. I can't take my eyes off Caleb's hair. I want to look at Katie, but Caleb's hair is distracting. I don't know. And why does he, I know he's a family friend, but he looks so much like one of the Duggar boys.
If one person come in and they were upset and he gave them the money back. If I watched him do it. regardless of Josh's character in this other situation, I did see him try to take care of his clients. There was, I mean, if it was not, they were not always perfect cars. But if you spend $1,000 on a car,
right, it's gonna have problems.
Yeah, so that's probably the best answer I can give you. There was some used cars that were decent, and some that were like, wow, that is a cheap car, and it's incredible that somebody bought it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So he's selling sort of lower grade used cars that are like kind of
Don't
the
lie.
low end.
But if you're
of the
going
spectrum,
to do
right?
something like
From my
this,
understanding,
own up to it.
more
Don't
like
blame
Jed's
everybody
lot
and
had
his
a little bit
brother.
higher
Because you're going to
expensive
have
cars
some
than his
serious
lot. Is
press
that
when you've
accurate?
been on TV for however many
Okay.
years, and you do that.
So his lot is kind of on this dusty road or whatever. It looks like weird. And this little tiny toll booth room where he's doing all his business. Is he a diligent worker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him work. He worked hard. I mean, I would see him work a lot when I go out there. He'd be out working on a car, keeping things moving. He was very knowledgeable about vehicles, extremely so. And I mean, I would say he's very good. And he would, if there was ever a time like that I needed something, like needed a vehicle or something came up, like he helped me. That was, I think that's part of why this whole situation was such a shock for me, was because I really thought that he was my friend, like that we were actually close friends. And to go from that to like he basically being my friend and like, hey, I'm going to get you dinner. Like, you don't have to do that for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite you down to my house. We're having a birthday party or things are going on. He's inviting me. And then to go from that to over here, and I understand it was in a difficult spot. But when you do things like that, it puts you in a difficult spot.
Josh has been like this for a long time. Ever since probably he turned into became a adolescent boy. As soon as the hormones kicked in. It's not like it just happened with what he's been caught with. You fucking dumb, Caleb? But Katie's questions are just so fucked. Who cares if he works at, has she never heard of a used car? So, she's lower grade, so they're all lemons. You would know, dented fucking van woman, although you don't have that now, do you? Do you have a lemon Bentley? I don't know what's going on. Well, she got something else. But anyway, surely she's been to a second-hand dealership. But the shit, we don't need to know if he was a diligent worker. Who the fuck cares? What is this? Oh, that's right. Sorry. Katie's not a journalist. She's a fisher. Well, not a fisherwoman. She's not even good at it, but she loves to put a line out there. It just doesn't work when you're the interviewer and you're also the editor. And it's the most fucked up editing job I've seen in quite a while. Although I haven't checked in on you for a while, Katie. So if this is how it's going, well, 3 videos a day. How do you do it? Editing? Fuck. Head fuck central. Okay, let's go back to full screen.
I think that's understood across the board. So anyway.
So would you classify it as he was good at lying then? I mean, if he's capable of doing the things that he did and then living this double life, does it shock you at all that he was found with this content?
It did. It shocked me a ton. Oh yeah, because I thought he had changed. I didn't really know him before the Ashley Madison and all the other things that happened. I knew of him. I had met him and didn't really have a relationship at all with him. And then when I came down there for something, he to visit. He was one of the people yeah, come live here and this. And I just thought, wow, people are so nice. It was hard to transition to a point where I realized they're really after me, and if I don't prove that I wasn't there, they're going to try to find me with this crime.
Who did odd jobs for him? It sounds like might have sold a car in March, and you printed off some labels, which Justin Gelfand is obsessed with, which is irrelevant. You were not there on the days in question.
No, I left Arkansas on a Saturday. I think the Saturday before he actually started doing that content. And as I said earlier too, when I was on this other podcast, I think I'm a firm believer in God, and I think God really protected me in this situation. I don't know your belief system, but it was seriously incredible. I could not have planned it. How do you know somebody's doing that sort of those behaviors? and on a computer. And so for me to come in on like Tuesday, leave on Saturday, and have a clear path of what I was doing that I could look back on and not, how was I to know that? And then to be up there still and then have knowledge of where I was even in the week after, I just don't look at that as coincidence, but it was pretty incredible.
When he was like there, was there anything in the, like, remiss? Was he acting weird? Was there any?
Who is he? I'm sorry.
Josh, because you did some work
there still and then have knowledge of where I was even in the week after. I just don't look at that as coincidence, but it was pretty incredible.
When he was like there, was there anything in the, like, remiss? Was he acting weird? Was there any?
Who is he? I'm sorry.
Josh, because you did some work, I think, for Jen and Josiah maybe too.
Yeah. So while I was down there, I was staying on the Champion Motor Cars car lot. They were like, yeah, you can stay there. So I would stay there, and I was down there for a doctor's appointment, which part of my evidence to the prosecutors was I had proof that I had a doctor's appointment. So I sent it to them, and then I'm pretty sure they redacted a lot of it from HIPAA or something. But it was still evidence that this is where I was on this day. But there was still like a gap of time. And this was, so once I got down there and did my thing and came back and went to the Apple store and all those things, I was laying out what I was doing here in Illinois for Special Agent Faulkner. They did at first ask me for stuff, and the reason, and this is kind of moving over into what we're going towards. I think I'm kind of.
Is anybody else lost? Like, Katie has failed as a journalist to create a timeline so that listeners or watchers, we are the watchers, viewers can follow along. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I feel like I've been stuck in the used car lot back and forward kind of question. Katie getting excited. Tell me more about Josh. Oh, this is so good. This is fucking exclusive, Katie. You have an SO. Yes, and I am aware the other day I said significant other, but really. On your channel, Katie, who are you advocating for? Whose voice do you want to be heard? Regardless, like people say, like in defense for Caleb, that like the young girl was, almost at the consensual age, or, an older teenager, not a child. The thing is, it's still the law. Like, he was still an offender. He was still found guilty. It's still predatory. What is Katie doing?
Feeling where you're going. And the reason I gave more information was because they had asked me specific questions. Since I've gone through my past, I've done a lot of study. I never want to be in violation of the law like that again, ever, regardless of circumstances. It's very uncomfortable. And so if you say something to a federal agent that's incorrect, that is a crime. And it really scared me because I once I got off that call and that interview with them, I just dug in and started looking because I wanted.
So you were afraid that you might have said something incorrectly and you wanted to verify and clarify.
Not even just that. It was more that I wanted to prove, like, this is where I was every single day.
Yeah.
And then when I went back and saw, whoa, I texted Josh, which I think his team already had.
Yeah.
That I had texted him. And so
there was communication between you and Jed or something, right?
Jed had probably had a
and maybe Josiah.
Probably. It was multiple brothers that I was talking to throughout that time period. But yeah, so that was kind of scary for me because they said, did you go to the lot at all? I said, no. And then I come back and look at these texts and I see a text that says,
well, right, because
I should be able to come
later, why would you remember something just so nondescript, right? Like, how many of us do things and 2.5 years later, you're being asked, were you at the car lot? Like, why would you, it wasn't.
But yeah, so that was kind of scary for me because they said, did you go to the lot at all? I said, no. And then I come back and look at these texts and I see a text that says,
well, right, because
I should be able to come
later. Why would you remember something just so nondescript, right? Like, how many of us do things and 2.5 years later, you're being asked, were you at the car lot? Like, why would you, it's not, it wasn't to you, that moment in time wasn't significant, right? You were just there for a doctor's appointment, like, for Josh, it was significant, right? So he wants to know what you're doing, but
well, and part of the reason it was so difficult to remember that stuff is when you're in a high stress moment of your life. I don't know. You've probably been there.
I understand.
You don't sit there and think about what you're doing every moment of every day while you're down in another state for a doctor's appointment. You're like, you're going to make money. I was trying to make some money while I was down there to continue to pay my bills. I wasn't like, there was a lot of stress in my life at that point in time. A lot was going on.
Your case was going on at that time.
Oh, yeah. It was ongoing. And that is very stressful. And so to take that and be like, they're asking me all these questions and I'm like, I don't remember. I don't think so. No.
But you have your own stuff coupled with the stress of, oh my God, they're going to try to pin this on me. So it sounds like after you have this conversation with Faulkner, who, by the way, I've heard is a very nice guy, seems very mild-mannered and very respectful. His incident report with you seemed very like he wasn't super worried about you, didn't seem to think that there was anything of concern with you. And, you know, he wasn't going to do a ton of follow-up, but you were brought up at the very last minute and they like acted like you were ignored when you were like never there. So I'm noticing a lot of red herrings with his defense. Like they try to make big deals out of nothing because their case is very much, they don't have anything. Red herrings with his defense. No, he wasn't going to do a ton of follow-up, but you were brought up at the very last minute and they like acted like you were ignored when you were like never there. So I'm noticing a lot of red herrings with his defense. Like they try to make big deals out of nothing because their case is very much, they don't have anything, in my opinion. So you start to hear that this is going to move forward and you reach out to the Duggars at some point, or how to explain?
So the day that the private investigator showed up to my house, I tried to get a hold of Jim Bob and did not hear anything. And this is where I don't want it to be perceived that I'm attacking him. I'm not. I still very much care for Jim Bob. I think he's somebody I still love. I looked up to him a lot. And so regardless of circumstances, the man has done a lot for me in my mind. So no matter whose perspective is around, I still care about him. And all that to be said, I called and texted and nothing, and I didn't get a response, like no response. So I started calling other people in the orbit to try to find somebody to say what's going on. Because right after that private investigator left, I got a phone call from somebody saying, hey, I was told this is what's going on. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I called that person, I know I'm being vague, it's very purposeful, and asked them, and we had a whole conversation. And he's like, don't trust anything. You know, they are after you. And that changed my perspective a lot on the whole thing. And so like I said, I just kept trying until that night I got a hold of somebody. They called me back, we spoke, and they said, yeah, he'll call. He's gonna call you in a few minutes. I get a text and says, I can't talk to you about this. And I understand being in a case where he directed me to Josh's attorney. Okay. In St. Louis, I think. I don't know. It's probably Mr. Delphin.
How involved did you at that point believe Jim Bob was with the defense? Was he pretty? I
had no idea. And to this day, I don't know his level of involvement in all this. What bothered me was I've known this man for years. He was almost like he was a father figure for me for a long time. A long time. And for him to not even pick up his phone when I spent 2 years, a year and a half, whatever it was, not telling anybody that Josh was under investigation. I knew anybody in their right mind would know that's a big story, but it wasn't to me because this was my friend and I didn't think he did it. And so I kept that. And to not give me just the courtesy to pick up your phone and say, I'm sorry, let me see what's going on, or hey, we'll figure this out. Nothing. It was all.
Everyone is a pawn for Jim Bob. He's like, they would have done anything to protect their son. And Katie finds that is, you know, oh my God. Anyone would do that to stop their son from going to jail. But I really do. I feel like Josh might have been like a bit of a scapegoat for the family. Like if we give them Josh because of his past, they won't question the family any further. And I feel like there's even more shit there. Just the way Jim Bob was fucking scary. Just from the pictures I've seen of people sharing afterwards. We'll maybe head to Katie's Instagram after, you know, number 2. It's so good because it rhymes with what she really is and what she likes to fling and what's, you know, filling up in her room. Okay, and her diaper. Okay, continuing. We didn't say that. We are continuing. Are we continuing? I feel like even when I speed it up, it's still slow. But yeah, I wish Katie wouldn't do fools. Like I want to see Katie's face, but then the hair. Okay. But he looks like one of the Duggars, doesn't he? He looks, which one does he look like? So many of them. That I can't get over, but it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Oh, we can't talk about this. And that really bothered me. It really shook me and my faith in this whole, in him. it was hard. So
It probably feels very complicated, I'm sure.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So once you're sort of blown off by Jim Bob, at what point do you get approached and are told that you're going to be a witness?
Oh, the private investigator kept texting me. I'd given him my number, and I ignored him because I had no desire to talk to him.
And you have and there's no requirement for you to speak to him.
No, and I knew it. And so until one day I got a text from him saying, I have a federal subpoena for you to appear. And I was really irritated. And he's like, I want to work it out with you where we can meet and I'll just serve it to you. Like, oh no, you're going to have to find me. So you
have to go to the trial. Even you're flown in from out of town.
Yes. So I think it was like the trial was going on and I didn't even know how I was getting there. I didn't know where I was staying. I didn't know anything. And they weren't telling me anything. And so they said, well, we want you there. They got a hold of me, I think Saturday night. And said, we got a flight for you Sunday afternoon. You're gonna have to go. Here's the ticket. Here it is. And I was like, where am I staying? I'm emailing them. I'm calling. It's a Saturday. Oh, I mean, I think it was Friday, but it was then Saturday. The next day was Saturday, and like I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And then they were. I didn't think they were working Sunday, and it was really nerve wracking. Where am I gonna stay? So they put me up in this motel where I was nervous for my safety.
So when you get there, are you told what they're gonna ask you about? Do you get any idea what their mission is for you?
I knew what their mission was for me.
Well, right. But did you have any idea that they were going to say that you had a thumb drive and you were doing remote accessing? I mean, the whole story is so not even plausible and stupid.
God, don't you tell us what's fucking plausible and what's not. I mean, fuck with your perspective. But is she dumb? No, you don't know what you're going to be asked by when you're cross-examined. Does she not watch? I know that from Law and Order. They just, get you ready for any question. Katie, this is what's going to happen to you. Yes. Spirit fingers. I noticed that Caleb and Katie, they use the similar duck beak when they're talking, or your finger, duck beak, but he does it more tighter, like he's cutting cucumber, but not like Kendall.
And we laughed about it during the trial just because it was so outlandish, which is actually what you claimed on Twitter. I thought that was a good word for it. It was outlandish. Like we were like, he's going to blame the router. He's going to blame the thumb drive. Oh, it's somebody, whatever. So the theory was that you planted a thumb drive on his computer and somehow installed a Linux partition and wanted to view this content on his computer for some reason.
Outlandish is the word for it, and I will stick with it.
When you were at trial, you didn't know what was being in court because you're a witness, right?
Anyway, part of it was I actually reached out to Travis, and the day before, and I was like, "Hey, what are you guys asking me?" I played dumb. What's going on? And he's just, "Well, I'll talk to you when you get to the courthouse." So I get to the courthouse, and he's like, "Yeah, you're testifying this morning. Hopefully you'll be next." And it's like, "Okay, well, what's it about?" "Oh yeah, I'll talk to you about it before." Okay.
This is so unprofessional.
And he's just, "Well, I'll talk to you when you get to the courthouse." So I get to the courthouse, and he's like, "Yeah, you're testifying this morning. Hopefully you'll be next." And it's like, "Okay, well, what's it about?" "Oh yeah, I'll talk to you about it before." Okay.
This is so unprofessional for a strategy. I mean, attorneys, when they bring witnesses in, will generally sit with their witnesses and tell them ahead of time, this is what I'm going to ask you, because you are their witness. They don't want to fluster you, right? They're going to coach you up a little bit so you have some idea about what's going to come out on the stand, and they don't give you any of that.
A good attorney would have schmoozed me to death. I mean, they should have had chocolates waiting in my 5-star hotel room. They're going to try to pin this on me. At least do something like a massage.
The whole thing seems very shady to begin with.
It was.
They're not telling you why you're there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I have my own legal stuff, right? So I understand that lawyers are very lawyery. They're very good about witnesses understanding what they are there for, what their job is. So you have no clue what your job is. I mean, you can speculate and he's going to blame you, but they don't tell you that.
No, that was very strange. I think they were ticked off because they knew I was communicating with the prosecutors. Because when I walked, I'm pretty confident, and it's kind of vague to me because it's been 2 months, but I'm pretty sure when I walked in there.
Did he testify? I don't think he did he? I think he wasn't he just put on the witness list or something? Like if need be, but still, like putting him on, He's not the main focus. He is someone that the defense is just using to create reasonable doubt, like that it could have been someone else. You know, it could have been someone else. Katie, I love how you were like, this is how it's meant to go. Why didn't they do it with you? Of course, they're going to coach you, aren't they? Katie, are you a witness? Is someone coaching you? Do you expect people to, you know, give you a good pep talk before you get up there? No one knows what's going to come at them. It's called preparation. Okay. Oh, shit, man. We're only just over halfway. How the hell, if she edited this, like how long were they talking for? Plus, I feel like we're going round in circles. I haven't really learned anything new or anything that, you know, why couldn't she cut out all this shit? Like I would have cut out trying to decide whether he sells lemons or, you know, what level of used cars, like all that shit. Where's the important stuff? There's no important stuff here. Katie's just so on edge, so tensed up. So what the hell is she doing with her hands? Got to hold on to something, I guess. Best friend.
There, and what was his name? The really tall Dustin Roberts. He walked up to me straight away. He knew who I was, and he was just like, "Caleb Williams." I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Come with me." And then we talked, and we were talking. And over here is the defense, and I think Josh and Anna, and he's just like talking to me very openly that I think everybody in the room knew I was not going to be there that I was not here to help the defense, and that I was definitely irritated with them. And then he pulled me aside, and he met with me again after that. So it was a consistent flow of knowledge that this was not me. I was there because I had to be there, and I was not doing any favors to them. They already knew that, and I think that was probably why they weren't going to treat me well, because they knew it wasn't. And it really doesn't matter. I don't care.
No, but you would think that if you were going to be a witness, they would tell you what you're going to be a witness to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like the bare minimum. Undoubtedly,
it was difficult, and then they were. You don't get to just say, "Well, I'm not going to come." You know, I'm not Elon Musk or one of these celebrities in that other case that's going on here. You know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where they can just do what they want. It seems like where they don't have to go.
Well, you get a federal subpoena, you go.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to go. I knew it. Anyway, so they got me a rental car. They're like, we're going to compensate you this much per day. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to eat while I'm here? And they're just like, he said, I think it was when I called their law firm. They said, there are nice restaurants and stores around here you can get food. I was like, well, who's paying for it? Like, well, we're paying for your day, and we're paying for your food. We're paying for your hotel, a rental car, and we're going to give you compensation. So it's not in the budget for us to pay for your food. I was shocked. And
you
very
thought they would have given you sort of a per diem.
Oh my goodness. It was, I think that
are you calling them, to me, this doesn't feel like incompetence. This actually feels like they knew what they were doing was wrong, and they just like were flying by the seat of their pants.
Without speaking for Josh, I almost think I really believe in my heart that he didn't want to do what he did. I don't think he wanted to use me, because if he was aware of my situation long before, from the very get-go of my situation. Yeah. And so for him to, I felt like he avoided it. And initially, I don't think he wanted to use me, and I think they must have convinced him, or somebody must have.
Well, he was out of options. Who else was he going to blame?
I know, it was over, but that's why you don't do that.
Right.
just saying.
And now he's really committed to the story of it being you. But then even in filings, we're like, well, we don't really know if it's him. We're just saying it could be him. So there was a meeting in judges' chambers, okay? And this was actually on the day that his defense rests. And I actually had a chance to read through the transcripts of what happened in the judges' chambers.
I did too. I did as well.
You did too, okay. And during the conversation and the back and forth, it sounds like their whole motive was to question you and make you admit that you were on this registry, and that was the goal. And that the judge basically said, you can't do that. You can ask him if he was there. You can ask him if he installed this thumb drive. And if he says no, you're done. That's it.
It was again, I think that was a miracle that they were so set on me coming out there and just I knew they were going to rip into me when I got out there.
And they were not, little doubt. Dad was going to somehow testify. And I'm like, what was he going to speak to, that you were at his car lot?
My assumption is that he was on standby for them to say for him to say, yeah, he stayed in my RV at my car lot during this time or in my,
So how does that make you feel as someone who's been friends with these guys, to know that Jed's willing to hang you out to dry?
I don't know if he was not willing, because again, he could have been put under federal subpoena as well. My understanding, if he was, I can't speak to that. I don't want to, because Could he
So
have?
it
Have I
could have
spoken
been
to
a
him?
situation where Jed was reluctantly there like you.
Yeah, because I never saw him. He was not actually in the courthouse that I ever saw. Never.
Okay.
So the
I found a article that's talking about what Katie said about Caleb testifying. I'm just going to try and copy and paste it. We're just taking a little bit of a detour. We'll be back to you kids in a minute, okay? Don't get your bitch face all up in it. Yeah, and then so this article, because I googled, did he end up testifying as a witness for Josh? And so this article is quoting Katie's Instagram post, and it's from the 21st of December 2021. Roll up. It's from Cafe Mum. I'll link this below. Oh yeah, 21st of December 21. So Katie must have done some post, and then they say they've quoted her, and it says, according to my source, Judge Brooks decided to exclude Caleb as a witness because he could not be accused of being the person who downloaded the stuff. So it's just weird that she's talking about him being a witness and all that, but it didn't even end up happening. Or did it? And okay, how do we go back? We have to go back now. We have to go back, and that's why we're fucked. This is our Friday night. Well, this is me torturing you. I want to press pause. Oh, imagine if it just stopped working. That'd be great.
because again, he could have been put under federal subpoena as well. My understanding, if he was, I can't speak to that. I don't want to, because it's could he have?
Could have been a situation where Jed was reluctantly there like you.
Yeah, because I never saw him. He was not actually in the courthouse that I ever saw. Never.
Okay.
So the other gentleman, I don't remember his name. Oh, Randall Barry. He was there.
And they never called him either.
No, that poor man. He was under subpoena for one side, and then they let him go, and then the other side subpoenaed him like that night. And I think then they let him go, and then the defense, I think, brought him back again. And the poor guy was there.
I mean, I read the opening statements, and I was like, they were going to
for one side, and then they never.
Okay.
So the other gentleman, I don't remember his name. Oh, Randall Barry. He was there.
And they never called him either.
No, that poor man. He was under subpoena for one side, and then they let him go, and then the other side subpoenaed him like that night. And I think then they let him go, and then the defense, I think, brought him back again. And the poor guy was there.
I mean, I read the opening statements, and I was like, they were going to call Randall Barry. They were going to call William Mize. They didn't call any of these people.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Randall in the courthouse.
And he's also a convict and has a lengthy rap sheet. So there was probably interest in that as well, which makes me start to wonder, do you feel like Josh perhaps finds people that have these backgrounds, knowing that if something were to happen, he could blame them?
Well, I didn't have that background when I met Josh, nor did I have it for the majority of my relationship with Josh. To speak to whether Randall was that or not, I don't know, because I can see your point. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just can't speak to it. I do know most of the people, like, there wasn't like, I didn't have any conviction when it happened. He did know about my situation beforehand, but it was always a joke to him. And I didn't talk to him about it because it irritated me. So
it was a joke to him.
Yes. And it always upset me a lot, and I didn't appreciate it.
Why would you think that's fine?
I don't know perspective on somebody. It was a joke to him that we were dating, and it wasn't even dating. Anyway, I was trying to avoid this.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. There wasn't like, I didn't have any conviction when it happened. He did know about my situation beforehand, but it was always a joke to him. And I didn't talk to him about it because it irritated me. So it
was a joke to him.
Yes. And it always upset me a lot, and I didn't appreciate it.
Why would you think that's fine?
I don't know perspective on somebody. It was a joke to him that we were dating, and it wasn't even dating. Anyway, I was trying to avoid this.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So Josh is at the courthouse. Do you have any interactions with him during this time?
Yes.
You do?
I did.
Okay.
The last second when after, so you were speaking of the meeting in chambers after that happened.
And then, I'm sorry. So they meet in chambers. The judge says you can't go there with him. He says you can bring him on the stand. I'm not going to say that you can't, but this is what you can ask him. They give him the scope of the questions. They go through all the rules into why. It would create confusion to the jury, and it would it's basically making you guilty when you're not guilty, kind of thing. Based on, they didn't have a nexus to prove that you did this, and they hadn't proved the remote access happened, so they couldn't prove that you did it. So they decide, then they go talk to Josh, and Josh then decides that he's not going to call you after he finds out that he can't bring up your registry information. Yep.
There was nothing at that point. It'd just be like calling a random person up for no reason. Were you there? No. Did you do this? No. Okay. Have a nice day. It was going to be a worthless it was a waste of time. And I think he knew it. So when they walked out of the courtroom from that meeting in chambers, I think it was Travis and Mr. Roberts. And he said, Mr. Roberts said to Travis, hey, I'm going to tell him. He's like, can I tell him? He's like, sure. And he came up to me and said, Caleb, we were able to convince the judge you were not here during this time period, and they're not going to call it. They can't bring you in. And I was like, oh, it was such a relief. And he's like, you can go. And then Mr. Special Agent Faulkner, he's like, I told you it would be fine. Shook my hand and said, you're going to be okay, man. And sent me off. They sent me on my way. So it was a massive relief.
And you said Josh did speak to you, or did you not talk to him?
Josh didn't speak to me. I tried to tell him I was praying for him. I wanted him to know, like, I don't hate him. I don't. I empathize. This situation's horrible. I think everything's horrifying about it. I don't empathize for the behaviors.
Yeah.
I just see the collateral damage is unbelievable. The family, everybody is suffering. And every time there's a lack of responsibility, it just has gotten worse. And so,
yeah, no one holds him accountable ever in the family.
I empathize a lot. And so even when I've been hurt, I still feel people's pain. And I could see in his eyes he was scared. And that bothered me, even if he was trying to hurt me. And I know some people might criticize me for that, but I still just tried to tell him I was praying for him. And it was like he wouldn't look at me. He just no eye contact.
Disposable at that point.
I don't know. It was like I think he felt guilt. I don't know what to speak to that. But even
I just want to say, like, as bad as Caleb is as a person or whatever he's been, I feel like he is, I feel like he was able to recognize emotion in Josh. Like, he saw fear in Josh's eyes, and like he's commenting like about it. I doubt Katie could ever understand that point of view without, like, he should be scared, but still, just that Caleb brought that up and was able to recognize it. And then, even though Josh was like trying to pin this on him and stuff, he was still able to feel that human fear, which Katie fucking never would. But I just feel, I'm just watching Katie and I'm like, is she even listening to what he's saying, or is she just ready to go straight in with the next question? I feel like nothing is flowing. I really don't understand what's like. It's just not easy to. It's not I want to speed it up more, but then I'm worried if I'll even listen. Oh, okay. We're going back in. I can't even like press play. What's happening? God, we're so far from the end.
in the courtroom.
I think your relationship is going to be complicated, obviously, because you were friends with him. And it might take you time to unravel all of this, because it feels probably like you're still in the midst of it, right? Because they're still talking about you. You've got people that are writing letters that are neighbors, basically saying that you're the unscrupulous young man that's framed him. So
I don't even know the neighbor. And I was there a lot.
What do you find? Do you find out that they're telling other people that you've done this? How do you come to that realization?
Are you talking about before the trial?
No, like you said that they were telling people in their circles that you were doing this.
That was my understanding. I heard from somebody close to circumstances, yes. And then somebody else, it got to me that it was being shared. And that was very difficult to process. Again, I care about these people, and the truth matters a lot. And to just willy-nilly just say that somebody does, it's not like, you shouldn't lie ever, regardless of what happens, no matter what happens, even if you make a stupid decision, regardless. Process, again, I care about these people, and the truth matters a lot. And to just willy-nilly just say that somebody does, it's not like, you shouldn't lie ever, regardless of what happens, no matter what happens, even if you make a stupid decision, regardless. Don't lie. But if you're going to do something like this, own up to it. Don't blame everybody and his brother, because you're going to have some serious press when you've been on TV for however many years and you do that. It's the way it works.
Yeah. So what do you think about the fact that other times he's been caught, he's actually admitted it? Why didn't he do it this time?
I hate to speak for him. My only guess in that, my perspective on that, is that there's a big difference between facing 20 years in prison and a scandal where people are going to be upset at you, where you've got the ability to say, I'm sorry, shouldn't have done that. Oops.
Like cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
What a stupid question. What a fucking stupid question, Katie. Fuck. I mean, all your questions have been stupid. Where the fuck is your investigative, journalistic, there's no hard hitters here. There's no fucking flow. But who would expect that when you're the queen of full stops?
Yeah, there's a massive difference between those two things.
Got it.
When you're facing time, it gets very real.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I empathize so much is he could be gone for 2 decades. That's a long time.
Do you have any interactions with Anna?
Yes.
And tell me about that.
It felt like she was giving me this stink eye, staring me down, and I just stared back at her as I was irritated at that time, and I didn't appreciate it. And the fact that she's like staring at me like I did something wrong when I should have been 2 states away brought me a lot of frustration. And
So she was mad at you.
It felt like that. I don't know, and maybe I just perceived it, but it felt like I was getting a little shade. And it's a small area, like the courthouse is not a massive place.
Yeah.
So we were constantly kind of jockeying back and forth, and she'd come out and pass me, and there'd be other people in there that would, and so most of the time it was cordial or just ignored. But in that case, it felt pretty clear that I was getting looked at like I did something wrong, and it was very upsetting. Like,
Well, I mean,
don't even want to
she
be
did
here.
create she created a lot of chaos in the family. She blamed a lot of people leading up to the trial. So you weren't alone in that. Not to say that it's fair, but now she believes that it's still you.
That's my understanding.
And she sat through the whole trial.
It's heartbreaking. I don't envy her position. I mean, trying to be careful how I touch on this, but she loves her husband, and he is a massive part of her world, and her world has crashed multiple times. I can't even describe that because I don't know how that is. My world's been shattered a few times, and it's really difficult, but I've never been married,
Yeah.
and I've never had children, like a bunch of children with somebody.
And continued to have kids with someone.
Yeah, I just keep going, and there's a lot of a bond there, psychologically, physically.
Financially.
Katie, do you believe that Anna chose to have 7 children? Do you believe that she had a choice? She just kept having kids. That's what you believe. Do you even think about what would have gone on behind closed doors, the mental abuse to start with, the brainwashing? Like he said, Josh is her world. That's all she knows. What would her life be without? She can't even fathom that because she has been basically groomed. It's fucked. I hate that Katie is just like, oh, she caught, she was attacking everyone. So do you on Twitter. You accuse everyone of being the hacker when it's you. Always is. Well, until Nat, but really, who knew? Because she really did follow everything that you do, which, okay. And that's how smart. Wasn't Nat, anyway, so much we could talk about there. Oh, fuck, here we are. Yeah, I thought I'd bring my little cookie in just so I needed some grounding.
Everything. Yeah, it plays a lot of, and so Anna and I have never been close. I didn't always have I was cordial.
Well, I know I've heard she's kind of a firecracker.
And I have no problem with the firecracker. I just don't like it. Anyway, I need to stay away from this topic.
Now she's with Josh. She's writing letters to the judge. She still believes it's you. If you could say anything to her, what would you say to her?
I'm praying for her. I hope she processes it. And I hope eventually she comes to the point where she realizes that it wasn't me and that her husband made some terrible decisions. That's it.
Would you encourage her to divorce him?
I still am not an advocate for divorce. I do see, I would not personally do that. But I think if he's there for long enough, I don't know.
Katie, do you know the weight behind that word divorce? You can't just throw that in. You have talked about the fucking cult. Also, deeply religious. Surely being raised Catholic or whatever, you would understand that divorce is a sin. I can't imagine it being anything less than that in their world, since they're amped up on, they're really amped down. Is it amped up or amped down? I don't know, but what does a firecracker mean? She just goes off? Didn't Katie say she's a firecracker, that she'll just go off and not think about what's coming out of her mind? She just hates Anna. She hates anyone really, but probably hates Anna more because Anna's got the details that Katie desperately wants that she's not getting from Caleb.
That's a really hard thing. I have a feeling these kids could all be grown by the time he comes out. And I can't put myself in those That's such a.
You're a father.
Am I? Yes.
Would you want your children around someone like that?
No, and here's why. You have to get help. If you cannot say to me, all these things have happened, and there's no, you have to get help. And if you do not get help, and you do not, first thing is
people like
acknowledging.
him are highly resistant to help. So
Yes, you have to acknowledge that you did something wrong,
Yeah.
and then you have to try to make amends, pay your debt to society, and
Yeah.
while you're paying your debt to society, get help. And
in cases like this, he's resistant to treatment. He's not acknowledged that he's done anything wrong.
something wrong,
Yeah.
and then you have to try to make amends, pay your debt to society, and
Yeah.
while you're paying your debt to society, get help. And
In cases like this, he's resistant to treatment. He's not acknowledged that he's done anything wrong. And research has shown that individuals like him rarely get better at all. So would you have anything to say to Josh?
I don't know. I'm not angry at him. I don't hold it against him. I really just pity him. I know that sounds weird given the circumstances and the horrible things that have happened, but he's still a human being. His life does have intrinsic value. Every life does. And that's the way I try to look at everybody, no matter who I run into. But I looked at him as my friend. And whether we're friends or not now, I don't know that he'll ever speak to me again. I just hope he gets help. That's it. I don't wish ill on him. I just, if he's got to appeal it, do what he's got to do. I wish he'd stop bothering me or anybody else to try to
So
obfuscate
you want to say to him, Josh, accept what you've done and accept your consequences?
and get help. Like, I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's because you will not move past this until you get help. If you continue, you will do it again.
Josh, you would say, acknowledge what you've done, get help, or else you're going to get worse. What do you say to Jim Bob?
Potentially.
Are you disappointed in him?
Are you disappointed in him? Oh my God, he's not saying what she wants him to say. So she's like, okay, this is what you said. It's like an interrogation. She's manipulating what's being said. Let's go through the whole Duggars, are we? All 19 of them. What's your impression of Jed? What's your impression of, well, can't think anymore. Oh, fuck.
I'm not sure what to say. I'm not mad at him. I'm not out to hurt him. None of this. And get help. Like, I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's because you will not move past this until you get help. If you continue, you will do it again.
Josh, you would say, acknowledge what you've done, get help, or else you're going to get worse. What do you say to Jim Bob?
Potentially.
Are you disappointed in him?
I'm not sure what to say. I'm not mad at him. I'm not out to hurt him. None of this
Did he
interview.
let you down?
It's not even letting me down. It's, again, you have a relationship with somebody for that long. It's something happening. Just pick up the phone. I mean,
I'm sorry. Did he let you down? Let you down? Fucking betrayal. Although I was just thinking maybe there's not enough words in her generic dictionary at the moment. She's just got to recycle through the words and let down. Well, you are, Katie. This whole fucking interview is a fucking letdown.
I have gone out of my way to try to, there was never a moment that I was trying to hurt them, that I was trying to cause them pain. I just wanted to know what's going on. Why is someone showing up at my house on a Sunday afternoon? The legal system does not work on Saturday and Sunday.
No, they really don't.
No. And so for that to happen, and I forgive him.
You say you forgive him?
Yeah.
You forgive him? Even
there was never a moment that I was trying to hurt. Again, you have a relationship with somebody for that long. It's something happening. Just pick up the phone. I mean, I have gone out of my way to try to, there was never a moment that I was trying to hurt them, that I was trying to cause them pain. I just wanted to know what's going on. Why is someone showing up at my house on a Sunday afternoon? The legal system does not work on Saturday and Sunday.
no, they really don't.
No. And so for that to happen, and I forgive him.
You say you forgive him?
Yeah.
You forgive him even though he didn't apologize?
If I don't forgive, all it does is hurt me.
That's something you'll never understand, Katie. You will never understand the power of forgiveness. It's not about what they did and, forgiving them and blah, blah. It's what it does for you. You don't carry around that negative energy by hating people, which you love. You were like, what? You forgive him? Oh my God. I'll never forgive anyone in my whole fucking life. Well, I can imagine you. That's your cartoon voice. My gosh. I think I had more to say, but the yawn, that is some great editing, isn't it? Cut, like, I don't even know. It just like cut, and then boom, straight to the yawn. That is so disrespectful too. That's almost as bad as, yeah, when she burped in John Yates' face, basically, did that lean forward. Like, fuck. This is how great your interview is, that you are yawning. Yes. I just wish you would have let us know if you were going to yawn. We could have all done it together. Got it out of there. But fuck, we're so close to the end. I've just got to go.
Doesn't hurt him, and that's a part of my faith, I guess. I see that as a command of the Bible. I don't.
But you don't have to trust him.
Forgiveness does not mean trust.
So would you ever trust these people again?
Trust is built. I think I'm a young guy. I don't know. I tend to get in trouble, and so for that to happen, and I forgive him.
You say you forgive him?
Yeah.
You forgive him even though he didn't apologize?
If I don't forgive, all it does is hurt me. It doesn't hurt him, and that's a part of my faith, I guess. I see that as a command of the Bible. I don't.
But you don't have to trust him.
Forgiveness does not mean trust.
So would you ever trust these people again?
Trust is built. I think I'm a young guy. I don't know. I tend to get in trouble because I trust too much. But
so if you were to put up, so would you recognize that they've done things to you that are not
okay?
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you recognize that you've in a way been betrayed by them.
I would say that.
And the way that they've behaved to you is actually not very Christ-like. It's deceitful, and they're bearing false witness.
Depending on your perspective, yeah, I can see that.
So moving forward, do you hope that you'll hear from them?
I do not think I will hear from them.
You don't think you'll hear from them?
No. Probably never.
Has this affected your parents? Your grandfather's relationship with them?
I can't speak to that.
You don't know? I just know that they were like for a long time, like they like loved your grandfather's programs and stuff.
I'd say anybody in my family that would have been in proximity, I don't want to speak for anybody, would still love Duggar. I don't think I'm an anomaly in that. It's not because of their influence or because of, I don't know that I ever saw more than like much of their show. I just cared about them as a friend and as somebody that I was close to. I trusted that relationship, and that was a difficult relationship so for my grandpa or whoever you were speaking of, I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't see that in his character to hold that against him either, because he knows I have it. And because
so my final question would be is if people are willing to give passes for this type of behavior, and I'm not implying that anyone is there any sort of accountability to the Duggars when they do this type of thing to people? If people forgive them and just look past it?
Forgiveness doesn't mean I trust without, like I was saying, trust is built, trust is gained. You do not just trust on a whim. I do trust people too much sometimes. I know that. But I don't know what their personal walk is. I think going through this and having been in close proximity and close friends for a long time, I don't think I'll have much of a relationship with them from here on out.
Yeah.
But it's not because I wouldn't be willing to reconcile, because I know people evolve and I hope that they do. But I can't speak to that, Katie. It's
fine.
My walk.
It's
not my walk.
I think it's fair to have boundaries. And I hope that you're learning and continuing to learn about boundaries as a part of all the therapy that you're doing. So it's a journey.
It is.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your experience. I'm sorry that this has sort of been your experience. It's good of you to take responsibility for your own problems and your own actions. I just wish that Josh Duggar would do the same. The
story's not written. I hope he does, but I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, thank you for sharing your story with me, Caleb.
Thank you, Katie. It was nice to speak to you.
Yeah, nice. You too. Bye.
No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Katie, you hang up first. No, Caleb. It's been so good to speak to you. Biggest smile ever. She didn't smile through that whole thing. She's smiling now. Why wouldn't you with an ending like this? Whoa. Why does that bell on that subscribe? Is that the lemon? Or is that the peach? Okay, bring it back to me. Oh, look at her ending face. So she doesn't wear the necklaces anymore. Have the necklaces come off? Have they been dropped? Do you reckon she threw them out, or does she have a little, I reckon she might have, a little crystal tree or something that she hangs them off. How do I get out of here? Bring it back to the cookie. Oh my goodness, guys, over an hour. What has happened? Do we know any? I don't think I got any extra information. And like, it's not that I've delved in and I'm Mrs. Information when it comes, like, I've only just basically, got the gist enough to understand what's going on. And so for me to understand what he was talking about, I'm like, this is just great, isn't it? Katie could have got more information from someone else. Why did she choose him? She's an advocate. She's a journalist. She is, got the good questions, the great questions. An hour that took. And we were on speed 1.5. I know, normally I'm 1.25 because I'm like, it's too fast, but that was fucking slow. But yeah, just at the end there, like, I was like, what does this remind me of? And this is so weird. My brain went back to Teen Mum. I can't remember who was interviewing. No, I've lost it. Just as soon as I went to say it, my brain was like, we can't even dig that deep. Oh, guys, what are you guys in the chat thinking? What, like, that was just a load of shit. And that I just felt that Caleb was more put together than Katie and had more like social etiquette and was raised with, like, at the end, and she's like, well, therapy, you learn your boundaries. It's all part of the journey. Fuck, your whole life is a journey with the just writing, the journey of parenting a special needs child with autism. Like, it's just crazy how similar, really, you and Josh are. Just saying, in my opinion, when she's like, these kind of people, research has shown that they can't get better. I don't know why I'm talking like this as her, but I feel like I need to change my voice. So whatever the difference is, that's her. But oh my gosh, Katie, it's hard to change because he's a fucking narcissist like you. Katie has not once changed in the 3 years, all the shit she's gone through, all the stuff she's learned about lawyers and court and stuff, still does the same old shit. And I wanted to say, when she was talking about, or when Caleb was saying, when you are facing time in jail, like, that's when shit is real, like, you have that fear. Does Katie know that she is facing jail time, like with the Minnesota defamation laws, or has she forgotten this? Because we went through it with Tati, but the jurisdiction thing went all across the country with that one. So now that like Chrisley and 7M have done it in Minnesota, there's no jurisdiction stuff. If she's found like guilty of this stuff, she could be fucking facing jail time. And I had a little skim of her little response to Chrisley. Does she not know that? Well, does anyone watch that chapter? Well, you should. It's a true crime. Mike, he's from Ireland. The case they did this week was, oh fuck, I've forgotten the name, but it's the kid who went, he went out fishing with his mum, and then they went missing and stuff, and he was like, fuck, I'm so bad at describing. Anyway, he took the people to court, like with the boat that sank, and by proving certain things, like an outcome of one court case, because she's going that way. Oh, fuck, I fucked it up. I can't even think. She's giving me brain damage. Should we restart? Should we try and figure this out? Okay. What she's trying to say, that what she said about Chrisley, he can't prove that what she's saying caused him all this damage and stuff. In the other court case, or is it her counterclaim? She's saying that it caused her all this damages to her life, her stress. Like she ended up having CPS court on her and stuff, which that was not from that. God, 2021, can we just go back there? The amount of people that she accused of calling CPS on her. The list is long, but I don't remember Todd Chrisley being part of that. But now he is because, yeah, she's an entertainment journalist and reports on the tea. Everyone was reporting on Todd Chrisley. But why doesn't he go after everyone? Why does he only go after Katie? He must be obsessed, ready to destroy her. Oh, and then she's talking about what they said on the podcast about her. And she says he called her ugly. I'm like, you are just so fucked in your brain. He called you ugly, not fucking physically. You're so obsessed with the fucking physical beauty. If you fucking do your makeup how it's done for your face. But beauty really does come from the inside. And you're just ugly in that way. No one's going, I want to be like Katie Joy. That kind of beauty. But yeah, she just thinks that she can just lie through everything. Well, like, I don't know why that still surprises me, but it's funny how Caleb was talking about the truth, how he's talking about forgiveness, and then she's like, but would you ever trust them? And he's like, forgiveness has nothing to do with trust. And Katie's just like, I don't know what either of them mean because I'll never forgive anyone. I like to hate and I trust everyone. They just don't trust me. Maybe you don't understand what trust means. Trust has a little bit of loyalty in there, a little bit of honesty, Yeah, Katie. So shocked that Caleb would forgive Jim Bob and Josh. I got confused which one. Did he call one of them James? Is that Jim Bob? Is his name James? Do some people just call him James? I forget. Is it James Bob? Is his middle? Because is Jim Bob like a well-known, like it goes together? Like there's another Jim Bob somewhere that I've heard, but only in American culture stuff. Or is it a nickname? Don't worry. No one really needs to know. My gosh. This is the interview from fuck. No wonder. This was his hair. I was wondering, like, does he brush it like that? Or is it the kind of haircut you would just leave it? And not that I'm being judgmental. I have questions. And maybe this is why people get annoyed with me at pubs, but I do have questions. I go up, I want clarification on your hair. But yeah, he looks like, is it Jed? I feel like Jed, but then I could just be saying it because I've heard that name a lot. Oh, what? What did I say? That you nearly choked on your G-string? And what's it doing up there? On your thong? Oh, this is me. Great. Like silence means I'm trying to find my way in the chat. I know. She's blaming Todd for getting swatted. I don't think she even knows what swatted is. I almost feel like I need to include a fly swatter in the shape of Australia in her box of things for her. That's hypothetical, but God, it's fucking overflowing. But yeah, just the amount of shit she blames on everyone. But then on Twitter, you just would need to have everything that she's tweeted all through 2021, and you can just see that she's blaming everyone for everything. The CPS calls, maybe if you didn't fucking put shit out there, maybe if you had a brain, a little bit of self-awareness, that would, sometimes I feel like your conscience, like your subconscious is working against you. I feel like you almost want people to call CPS, or because of the stuff that you release, like it's fucking shocking. I would never have really paid attention if you wouldn't have introduced me to Mike Stoffer and all that shit, because you really gave me what I need to look out for. And now there's a lot without a clear, what would the B be? Without a clear, why do I want to say board? No, clear board. Clairvoyant board. Fuck. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about the Cactus contributors. I know we're a bit late. Better late than never. I love a good cliche. Lots of them with Katie and those little questions. But anyway, you could grab a Cactus badge next to your name and exclusive content. But yeah, you also get shout outs. Isn't the person, I wonder if you're still around. Shout out tonight goes to Just Bill. I know, Just Bill. Cactus high five. I'm Bill too. Should I become Just Bill? No. Thank you so much for being a Cacti contributor. And I hope that you had a good day. I hope you enjoyed this stream. How could you not? Fucking wild ride. Katie was right. Trigger warning. This is a wild ride. You're able to sleep the whole way because it's just, it's the Paulson party. That's the level of excitement. Katie didn't smile the whole way through. Why is she such a resting bitch face? Oh, she got her lips redone, right? It looked like it. Should we bring it up? Let's have a little, I want to zoom in, but I can't. How do I bring you back? Oh, I know. Do I really want to? Do I really want? Oh, it's your boy. No. Come on. Come on, universe. Oh, is that a good one? See? Looks like it. Bottom lip is there. What's his name? From her fucking hand. It's just so fucked. Katie, this is just awful, man. Like sometimes you don't need, like if you finish an interview and you're like, I didn't really get any substance from that. Maybe I won't make it, but then I guess you spend an hour of your time. How long did you spend editing it? 20 seconds? Do you just like go, oh, it's edited enough. This will do. Leave in the fucking yawn. My gosh. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm going to add the timestamps, and I might do something on the weekend because I don't know. I'm staying in again, but I just feel, I don't know. There was no substance in this shit. I feel ripped off. Like, what did I come here for? Well, did I get what I wanted? And no. Katie, you also need to get your roots done. I noticed. Oh, that's where we should have gone. Should we go there now? Oh, maybe. I just want to have a look at the photo of where she's like, I'm looking and I'm feeling great. But there's a difference between genuine happiness and faking it. Like, I don't know, maybe you just faked like orgasms your whole life. Can't imagine. Oh, look at your photo. It's beautiful. Okay. Are we on screen? Let me just get rid of my face. Oh, no. Maybe that's the right decision, but look at this, man. Look at this. How many times does she need to post his fucking face? But she's so desperate to constantly bring up all the fucking information. I've got like a video coming. I just need to edit it. But where are we? Where did we come here for? We came here for, it's like, genuine happiness. Can I go in more? Is there a zoom? No. Fuck. But yeah, I mean, and not to give shit about grey hairs, but because, like, you should see my fucking hair right now. I had to go and meet one of my favorite people, like my alien mother. Like, I met Juno Birch. Like, oh my God. Anyway, drag queen. It's not everyone's cup of tea, so we're just going to move on. Anyway, I had to go with hair. I haven't had my roots, my bleach root, I haven't had my roots done since October. And I have realized I've got so many grey hairs. They're like reflecting off everything. And yeah, but I didn't know Katie had that many. Did you? Anyway, so this is from, why does it do this? 3 days ago. I don't even know what date it is. So the 24th of May. Without a crystal ball, number 2. Round the corner, number 2. Because you know, do you guys remember that? Like milk, apple juice, round the corner, chocolate mousse. There's a part 2, but let's just carry on. Feeling good in my skin today. Ooh. And wanted to share that sunshine with you. Where's the sunshine coming from, though? Like, what? Are you a Care Bear? It can be hard to go on camera and face the world daily. It's easy to be critical of myself. Today I feel good. I hope you do too. Fuck, I really want to zoom in because that's what I do. But anyway, fuck. Okay, so I guess that's it. And we should get out of here. Oh, let's just. Okay, we'll just finish with this. Katie's post about the interview with Caleb. She writes, "We have completed our interview with Caleb." Who the fuck is we? You and Frida? We? Are you including the editing staff? Fucking we, man. We. The only we from you is the type that you don't flush. And you don't wipe your hands and okay. The interview was pretty long and we covered a lot. I'm doing flat hand claps right now, but I just need a drink because it's taken my breath and my saliva away. It's too good. Look at that fucking... The photo that she chose is apparently his mugshot from when he was on the SO registry. What will be covered in the video is not about Caleb's personal life or his conviction. Bullshit, you fucking pushed him for, like, he didn't want to talk about it. You pushed him. And then you kept bringing it up. And then he's like, yeah, Josh used to make fun of me for it. And it really hurt. And then boom, you're on to the next question. Didn't even really want to talk about that emotion. But I guess when, you know, you just surface level journalism, you don't really dig deep. You don't have any questions with some depth and no fucking substance, man. No fucking substance. And I'm not talking about the white lines on your little countertop there, okay? The interview was kept specifically to the case. Okay, but what kind of, used car dealership are we dealing with? Specifically to the case, investigation, trial, and the aftermath, and the car dealership. His experience with how he was treated by defense and the Duggars was kind of shocking to me. Really? Like, he didn't really say anything different and really what you would expect, like kind of common sense. So I don't really understand the shocking bit there. I made no opinions about him during the interview. Katie, you are so dumb. It's called unbiased, by the way. No, I made no opinion. Katie, you basically gave him the words, you pushed it into his mouth. You wanted him to say this. You acted like you knew more about what was going on because you read a few articles, a few little filings. What the hell? There's no denying what kind of shit you just served up. Even with your little delusional spin on it, it was shocking. Nah, nothing shocking really. At all. The most boring fucking interview I've ever watched. Like, I don't know. I'd rather watch, well, like maybe an interview. I'd rather watch like someone interviewing a pig with lipstick on. I'd be so fucking interesting. That would be substance. Because, you know, who wouldn't want to watch that? Did you ask yourself, do my viewers really want to watch this? Would I be doing myself, my channel, like something, would this be good for my channel? For what I am, for what I stand for, because I stand with the victims. I've only got their interest in mind. Ooh, it's all about their voice. But, you know, if you can't get Josh, why not get Caleb? Was Caleb? Caleb is the name of the kid from American Horror Story. American Gothic. Oh my God, I have not watched that in forever. Is it American Gothic? Brain. 1 point. Okay. Before we tune out, let's just get to the bottom of this. I make no opinions and will not share my opinions in the video. Okay. The story is that the Duggars were willing to lie and go to whatever lengths they could to get Josh from going to prison, even trying to send an innocent man, in this case, to prison on his behalf. Despite all of that, Caleb revealed a lot about his relationship with them and the fallout. Stay tuned. Oh, you can see that I've been here before and I liked it. Ooh, okay. This person comments, this is the first time I've ever commented. As an SA victim, I'm really disappointed that you've decided to give airtime and an audience to a convicted SO. He may not have committed this crime, but he still groomed and RAPED'd a child. CW, Caleb, may be linked to the Duggars and fit in with your commentary theme, but he doesn't deserve a platform when there are survivors who struggle to get heard. Fucking hell yes. Sorry, that was me. If you care to be socially responsible, please consider speaking with the people who have been victims of CSAM, and who have chosen to speak out about the impact of Duggar's actions in re-victimizing the children pictured in those atrocious materials. Katie, where are you? She doesn't respond. I'm just going to read the ones that I've got little love heart or that I've liked. As a survivor of SA, I just wanted to comment and say this is gross. But, you know, Katie is also apparently a victim of SA, of RAPE. Wouldn't that irk you? Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable being in the presence of someone who fucking took advantage of a minor? Like, where does the need for information overtake fucking, you know, like your own morals, what you stand for, what you are trying to present yourself as in this world. Like, this is a great interview to put in your journalism portfolio of work that you can show. You know, this is my past work. When you go in, you want to get a job at CNN or whatever. What is it? Fox News for you? Probably. No. What is it? TheSun.com. You're giving a voice and airtime to the exact kind of person you claim to be advocating against. I used to like your channel and advocate for you when people called you a tabloid and other things, but I don't think I can do that anymore. Someone else says, I don't understand how promoting a SO point of view isn't hurting victims, though. Yeah, like, why do we care what he has to say? What's so important about his point of view? But then we didn't get any extra information than what he's already, like, because he's, you know, gone on a little tweet. He does a little bit of Katie, tweets a lot. Like, she wanted juicy details and stuff. She wanted to know about Joshy. Where am I? Am I reading that one? No. Okay. Should we get out of here? Yes. Yes. Just one more look. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you. If only, I'm a little bit worried about this little vein. Don't let it pop. I just wish you were genuine, man. That's all. Because when I look at this, I don't feel like, Katie, like, there's no, the energy. Like I said, like, I'm an empath and I absorb energy through photos and media. There's no happiness here. It's very forced. It's like, there's nothing. Katie, that's sad. I don't even know if you know what happiness is, since you really settled for less when it comes in the husband department, gave in to his demands, needing him to have a child. Now you live in a sexless marriage. You're not really getting any enjoyment out of life. I mean, making 3 videos a day on YouTube, and then now you can't even sit in your drinking chair and have a good chin wag with everyone, you know, because you used to be a streamer, but you don't live stream anymore. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Just while we're here, can we watch Jim Bob aggressively hit shoulders? Is this it? Oh my God. Okay, I watched this so many times trying to figure out what, like, so Katie's like, Jim Bob pushes shoulder into reporter when he's asked about Josh's sentence.
You guys didn't get the 5 years you wanted. How are you guys reacting to that? You guys didn't get the 5 years you wanted. How are you guys reacting to that?
Like, that's not really aggressive. It's more like, I'm going this way and you're in my way, but there was no force behind it. He didn't push, you know, there was, guys, did you see anything? Did I not see it? Was it so quick? There was no Will Smith action there. There was nothing. But then also, what was Katie expecting Jim Bob's reaction to be? Any normal person will probably be like, fucking leave me alone. But, you know, this is the one person that's had control over everyone his whole life, been able to control, your favorite word, Katie, control the narrative of how the world views the Duggars. And now he can't control. Also, he can't control what's going to happen to Josh inside prison. He can't, like, he probably hasn't prepared his son for reality. Wouldn't that be a fucking wake up call? Yeah, I don't want to think too much about it, but I kind of also do. But there's, yeah, the justice, apparently I was reading that when he gets out, his youngest child that was just born will be 13. That is, but I'm like, not sad, but I'm sort of sad for the children. Well, I'm really sad for the children. But then maybe that's the best chance that they could ever be given is for him not to be in their lives for that long. And hopefully Anna can get help. I would hate to think that she is waiting for him, but like she's held up at isn't she living with the Duggar, like Jim Bob and that, like, and she's living in that little shed. Yeah, she's just never going to. It's sad. It's so sad. Oh, but Katie, you're even more sadder because you're fucking pathetic. And yes. Thank you guys. Thanks for everyone that rocked up in chat. Fucking legends. I love seeing Cactus crew in there having a good old chin wag. And yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. And if you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe if you would like to become a Cactus. Grab oven mitts on the way in if being pricked isn't your preference. But yes, fuck. What a fucking lame show this was, but really what was expected. Really, yeah. I can't even close out. Brain cells are lacking. But yeah, I'll put the timestamps up after I finish. So thanks, guys. Take care and enjoy your weekend. I might catch you on the weekend. So bye. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What did we watch? What did we watch? Oh, thanks, Bill. Thanks, guys. See ya.